Chris, Coach Johnson, what you want me to call you? I don't know if they even call you now, man. What's up?
Hey, just call me Chris, baby.
Yo, it's good. It's good to hear from you. How the family doing?
Everybody's good, man. Well, we live in LA now, so
Okay.
we live out in the Valley, so Sherman Oaks,
Okay.
right outside of Beverly Hills.
Okay. You like that transition?
The transition's smooth. The weather's amazing. You
Okay.
know, um, everything been kind of tight since the corona, so we ain't getting to enjoy a lot of the perks and things like that. But the transition to LA has been good for me business wise because the majority of my clients love to be in this good climate weather. Beautiful restaurants, sitting outside, beautiful women. The opportunity for them to be able to do business. So that transition has been seamlessly.
Okay. Okay. That's a fact. I remember we go way back. We go back like a couple years ago. So
Yeah.
I remember you used to come through the house all the time, train everybody. Um, how's your son doing? Your son is kind of nice too, though.
Yeah. So
Used
he
to be on. Used to be on him hard too. Used to be on him.
still on him, bro.
Oh
So like
man.
his birthday, Joe, is Monday. He turns 13.
Okay.
He's going to the 8th grade when they complete this year. He's the best player in his position,
I can see that.
probably probably globally. So
Wow.
by position, right now, he's left-handed. The advantage I think is that he had opportunities to watch pros from when he
Yeah.
was little,
Mm-hmm.
from 3, 4, 5. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
been a decade of just being in the gym and watching guys like one of your best friends, Mike James,
Yeah.
and and other pros learn how to work. And then, living in LA, I train LeBron James now,
Okay. Oh, so
and
you got so you got LeBron now?
yeah, I've been
Okay.
working with LeBron, so
I'm gonna
you
get to
know,
that in a minute.
yeah, so that's dope. But just imagine you being a kid and one of your favorite players, which you know, LeBron is my client, but he wasn't my favorite player because I didn't grow up with
Yeah, the
LeBron.
era. Yeah, that's a
Yeah, the
fact.
era.
That's a fact.
So
Yeah, that's a
so
fact.
so my son's favorite player is LeBron, and to be able to be in the gym with your father developing the greatest player that's playing right now,
Hmm.
and to get up at 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, 3 in the morning, I think those are the lessons that will allow him to be as successful as he needs to be when it comes to sports and in general. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, bro. He's a problem. We pray for health. We
Okay.
pray, to keep him healthy. Like if he's healthy, he got potential to be that guy, and we try to raise him the right way with with the components of moral values and being a human. It's just an athlete is just a bonus.
I totally understand that you definitely instilling the right characteristics in at a young age. I totally
Yeah,
understand. You know what I'm saying? But how was that like? How was that like training like somebody like LeBron? Like we all know he's probably the best player in the world right now. But at the
right.
same time, it's like when you training him, I mean, what do you train him on? It's like it's LeBron. Like what
What
can you teach him?
the funny part is he's a sponge. He's a student.
Wow,
He
it's
does he
crazy.
does he does not assume to know anything. When my conversation, with them was more like, what do we want to focus on? You know,
Hmm.
because when you work with a guy at such a high caliber, he understands how he's going to play. He understands his weaknesses and his strengths. So he told me, he said, I want to be the MVP of the league. And right now, he's the MVP of the league.
I mean,
Prior, prior to COVID,
prior
they
to
the
COVID.
top. Prior to COVID, he's the top player in the NBA. He's a forerunner. He dominated Giannis. He dominated Kawhi in
Hmm.
back-to-back weekend games. He got the Lake Show running. He playing point guard. You know, and that was the one thing he said. He said, "And you're 17. I want to be the MVP of the league," and he was none short of that. because of the work ethic and commitment. You know, you take a guy, let's use Mike, because my connection with you is through Mike. Mike work ethic
Okay.
is nothing short than impressive. Mike would not be who he is without the commitment.
Yeah, he goes hard.
And he goes, so imagine a guy, Mike 6'1", Braun 6'9". So imagine a 6'9" guy that has all of this intangible things that are God given, have the same work ethic of a guy that's 6 foot.
Yeah, that's incredible.
So
that's incredible. Yeah,
so and people wonder, they say, well, man, you know, like they see potential and talent in a lot of people, but the one thing I try to see in people, in being one of the best global trainers in the world, is you try to see the work ethic. So if you want to see the separation from somebody, look at their work ethic.
Do you feel like work ethic? Do you feel like that overshadows talent?
For sure, because
you could be talented. You could work hard and also be naturally gifted and talented and don't have to work that hard.
And so when we look at the word talented, I think the word talented, Joe, I think the word talented is overused.
Okay.
And I think the definition is not clear, because you growing up in New York, you've seen players that naturally pick up on the things that they see.
Okay.
Nobody really had to teach them. They have a learning ability inside to say, I can see that, I can mimic that, I can master that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what is talent? Talent is something like where, you know, you're 1%, like a 1% is very small. Because I've seen a lot of guys, 6'10", 250 pounds. Do we have talent, or did he pick up a skill set, but he don't have work ethic? Okay. So if you take a guy that has a build that's God-given, you would call that talented or call it gifted, right? And then you take a guy that has that and you give him work ethic, determination, vision, drive, you know, you give him those things, there's separation between you and him. Because we all have gifts. I found out what my gift is years ago. And one of my gifts is to inspire, to educate, and equip other human beings, whether they're in sports or not.
Okay.
So it's like that's my natural gift, is to connect with people. And when I connect with people,
I dig it.
You see what I'm saying? Like, that's a natural, like, talent.
Yeah.
So how do I maximize my talent? I maximize it because I have work ethic. Could it be some guys that are more talented than me? Could be, but my work ethic is unmatched.
Okay. So, like, on a regular day, like, would you get up 3 o'clock in the morning? I know before y'all was getting up like at, y'all was out of control, man. Like, and we was hanging out. We was hanging out.
Yeah.
We was hanging out all night long, and still.
Yeah, you got to get up.
You still do the same thing?
Same thing, bro. So my work ethic is like, you know, my first workout may start at 4 or 5 in the morning. Normally, like Jimmy Butler, Braun, some guys that could really go, that are focused. And I probably finish up a day with like around 9 or 10. And I do that 5 or 6 days a week.
Is that 9 o'clock at night or 9 o'clock a.m.?
Nah, 10 p.m. at night, 9 p.m. at night. Yeah, because I have so many guys that want to be in the gym. Okay. So I don't have everybody work out at once.
Okay.
That depletes the knowledge that I'm trying to pass on. They need one-on-one attention, one-on-one development. So I may have 30, 45 workouts in a day. Imagine, Joe, I'm 41, bro. I feel like I'm 22.
Wow.
So being in shape, so that's what I mean by work ethic. So the people that's going to listen and tune in to your show, to your podcast, you know, the one thing I can give to them is to say, make a commitment to yourself. You know, you can have fun. You could go to events. You could do all the things that are out there for you. But if you can't commit to yourself and discipline yourself, sometimes you miss out on what your level of success is. And success doesn't have to do with money at all the time. You know, money comes when you put in that type of work.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's funny you saying this because a lot of people think the NBA players don't really have that work ethic. But you're basically saying that. No, I'm for real. You know, listen. They think like people ask a question like in the off season, do the guys really work out like they're supposed to work out? Like, are they
Right.
disciplined? Like, are they in a space where they could, I guess, hang out, go to events, and still will they still be able to get up in the morning and go to work? Now, you being a trainer, do you see like, do you see that? Do you see that they have the work ethic? Because
Listen,
it's a knock on the younger guys. They say the younger guys don't like to work out.
listen, they have this thing, Joe, that happens every year. It's called the NBA draft. But they but they re- but they really should call it the replacement draft.
Ooh,
I'm gonna go deep on you.
yeah, you gotta explain that to me. I don't know what that means. That's NBA talk right there. I gotta explain that to me.
So the NBA draft is in place to replace the people that are in the NBA. And it happens every year
Ooh,
with 60 players.
ooh.
We didn't even talk about the undrafted guys. I'm talking about the NBA draft that guarantees these young guys coming in. So the guys that are coming in are there to replace you. So if you don't have work ethic, you don't have vision, you don't commit to yourself, I don't care what you got going at night, you would not be in the National Basketball Association
Ooh, that's
because
tough.
somebody's going to pass you up. And somebody's going to have a little bit more God-given a talent, ability with the same work ethic, if not better.
Wow.
So when people look at it, they say, man, the NBA draft is happening this year. They should call the NBA draft the replacement draft.
That's I never looked at it like that, but that makes a lot of sense. It's like the younger animals that just hungrier, that's trying to take your spot.
They there. Is not trying.
No, you're right. They like that's gonna happen if you don't step up on. It will
If
happen.
you take the best player right now in the game, everybody would love to see him fail. How does he stay on top for 17 years in front of the camera?
That's crazy.
And he's a
crazy.
black man.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a black man.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't think people want to see him fail? Yeah, they don't want him to be on the top. So it shows you right away that the only way to not even just remain there, the only way to stay in the mix is to stay committed, bro. So it's definitely a myth that NBA players don't work. Do we have some guys that are the exception? Yes. You're gonna have less than 1% of the exception.
That doesn't work out.
I mean, they work out, but they just like
Okay.
their personal life overtakes what really is important for them.
That's understandable.
Because you
It
can have
happens.
you can have a
It
personal
happens.
life and you could be you could do whatever you want to do. You want to start a business, you want to open a club, do you want to go out and hang out at night? You want to go to dinner? How many girls, what do you want? Everybody has their vices, but at the end of the day, if you don't commit to yourself, you don't last. And nobody wants to say that, but yeah, the draft happens and the draft is there to replace you. It's there to replace you. So if you look at it like, oh, you here to replace me. That's why guys that are playing in the league, like Chris Paul, year 15, all-star, he's playing with the youngest guards. They got fresh legs.
He's different though. He's like, you know,
He like the
he's
other guy.
yeah, he like the other, yeah, he a little certain players are different. Like he's one of them. He's like, I'm not gonna let you take my spot.
There you
And
go.
I know you like 15 years younger than me, but at the same time, I'm coming at you just like you coming at me. He gonna do what he's supposed to do.
So I work with Chris in the summer too.
Okay.
So man, if you knew the amount of guys I work with, Seth Curry, Rodney Hood, Joakim Noah, Taj Gibson, Jimmy Butler, Tony Snell, Ben Simmons.
Jimmy Butler is probably the most underrated player in the NBA, man.
Jimmy Butler
Like I
work
think
ethic
he's
is
like right there.
Jimmy Butler work ethic, Joe, bro, is unmatched. Like that's what I'm saying. So you got a guy like Jimmy that has the same work ethic as LeBron. Two different routes, two different ways to get into the top. But the one thing that they both stand out, or they both students of the game. So me working and developing with Jimmy for 7 years, Jimmy is an ultimate student of the game. Now you take him 6'8", 235, all muscle, ripped.
He's solid. He's solid.
Now add work ethic, and then you add a skill set. And then he knew what got him there. Only thing that can get him is Father Time. That's it.
Yeah, that's a fact.
That's it, bro.
That's crazy. You work with all these players, and like I said, it got to be amazing to have LeBron, Jimmy Butler. What you got? Seth Curry,
Rondo. I got Rajon Rondo, KCP. You name Ben Simmons.
What's up with JR?
JR in the lab with me every day.
Yo, that's my son. Tell him I said what up too. That's my son.
I'm gonna tell him. I see him on Tuesday.
When
he get back to LA.
Listen, JR should be in the league, man.
There's no doubt.
Like
do we need to talk about that?
Yeah, let's talk. No, I'm for real. JR should be in the league. We could talk about it. I ain't like JR Smith should be in the league. Like,
listen, I see it every day, bro. JR Smith not only should be in the league, he's still a starter.
That's a fact. I believe that.
Don't ever forget that. He's JR right now, talking today, we're doing 2 workouts a day.
Okay.
He wakes up and gets on the court at 9 a.m. and he comes back at 9 p.m.
And people think he don't work out. And people think JR don't work. JR works.
He's riding like 30 miles a day on the bike. He's a vegan. So he lost all, like, he'd been playing at like, he told me like 240. He like 218 right now.
He's a vegan?
He dropped that weight, man.
Wow.
He's been eating clean, man. So with him eating clean and you know, with his new changed diet, Joe, he's a monster, bro. So I'm looking forward to him being able to be a part of the NBA again, because he's not done. He's not. When I say there's always room on a team for a guy that can shoot the basketball. He's an NBA champion. I don't care what nobody says.
No, he is. Like, let's be real. He is. Like, he's an NBA champion.
He's an NBA champion.
Yeah, let's go.
And he played in 3 straight or 4 straight finals.
Mm-hmm.
And without him on the team, they may not win a championship.
That's a fact.
You know, and so, yeah. So when you look at him, you know, yeah, he made some mistakes. And I think everybody, normal people, I'm watching the things that the man that's leading our country is saying.
I don't want to talk about that. Yeah,
no, we don't talk about it, but I'm just, you see what I'm saying? But JR definitely should be in the NBA, and he definitely, provided the opportunity to compete, he definitely is going to be 6-man, or he'll be a starter. Him, Jamal Crawford, Iman Shumpert, Corey Brewer. I can name like 20 players.
I didn't know Corey Brewer was still even playing ball.
man, Corey Brewer can play.
No, I know he could play, but I didn't know see, the thing about it, I'm glad you're on the show because what people have a tendency of doing when they don't hear about people, they think he disappeared. Like he's not playing no more. He's not working out. He's not doing nothing. You know what I'm trying to say? So when you hear the name Corey Brewer, you think, okay, I think last time he played was with the Rockets. I'm not sure, but he's playing in Houston for a little bit. So
he lives in Houston.
Like, okay, you like, did he disappear? What happened to him? So you don't really know.
Yeah, these guys are, remember I told you it's a replacement league. So if you give any opportunity for you to be replaced,
it's a wrap.
It's a wrap. It's a
wrap. How do you feel about that though? Like even, I'm gonna give you a perfect example. Carmelo sat out last year. Remember he sat out last year? And make a long story
let's
short.
not even talk about Melo. Come on, man.
No, listen. He comes back. I know, but he's having a good year this year.
Melo was in the gym. So one session we had, it was me, Melo, Chris Paul, and Braun in one of our workout sessions. Imagine what that's like.
I can only imagine LeBron, Chris Paul,
Melo,
and Melo.
Yeah, I had to show you a picture, bro. It's crazy. You'd be like, oh.
Melo's like first ballot Hall of Fame, like just off
the
top.
You know. So imagine if you could do that to Carmelo, which definitely you're looking at like, okay, he's not just able to play the game; he has an effect on the game.
And you know something that people don't know? I didn't mean to cut you off. He actually had a better rookie year than LeBron James.
Yeah, but he's a better scorer.
Numbers wise, he had better numbers than LeBron's. Like they both came in the same year. Rookie wise, Carmelo had better numbers than LeBron rookie season.
Yeah, I can see that though.
Yeah, I've seen that.
But you know why? Because LeBron is a numbers wise when it comes to scoring. Mm-hmm. LeBron is a dynamic player. LeBron is different, and that's why with the MJ doc, everybody's trying to say, well, Michael's the GOAT. Michael's the GOAT. MJ is probably the best player that ever played a game in his era.
I was going to ask you that. Oh, you said in his era. I was going to ask you that too, though.
No. Michael's the best. I grew up on Michael.
Okay.
So Michael, the 90s to me was like one of the best basketball eras.
That's my era. I understand.
That's my era. So Michael to me is one of the best players, is the best player to ever play the game. But you can't compare him and LeBron. LeBron has something that we'll never see again. He averages 27 a game, 11. He can pass the ball. He can play point. He can play center. He can play the 2 to 3. He sees the game different. When he's done playing, he's going to have a major effect on the game. So you got to give that man his flowers now, and he takes it serious, bro.
No, I believe he's the best player in the world. That's what, like, even when I hear people say Zion's like kind of similar to him, I don't see that. Like that's just
not even close.
Yeah, I don't even see them
close.
in the same category. Like no way you could compare Zion to LeBron. Like they were saying that. You can't compare
LeBron. You can't actually, to be honest with you, you can't compare LeBron to anybody. Wow. There's only one LeBron. Just like you can't compare Michael. Now, Michael did something for the game that revolutionized it.
Okay.
Michael Jordan had been selling tennis shoes for the last 30 years and hadn't played.
That's crazy. Yeah. I buy him.
He revolutionized the game. Michael Jordan was the last player that could jump 36 inches on a vertical jump, on a jump shot. Shoot right over you. So is he special? Man, them guys are in a different class of their own. And when people talk about Kobe,
I was going to ask you, what do you put Kobe in that graph?
Well, obviously Kobe had, a major impact on the game. When you think about Michael, you always think about Kobe.
Okay.
And when you look at some of Kobe interviews, he said, man, listen, I patterned my game after Michael. So Mike James said something on my podcast that I thought was amazing. He said Kobe Bryant is the human version of Michael Jordan.
Wow. The human version of Michael Jordan.
That tells you how far.
Kobe Bryant is the human version of Michael Jordan. Wow.
Yeah.
I can see that. I can see that though.
Yeah.
I could definitely see that.
So so when it comes to that, us loving basketball and basketball talk, it's fun to be able to compare guys like Mike versus LeBron.
Does LeBron take that some type of way?
In my opinion,
I know, because with him, it's like he probably hears so much. Like, am I like MJ, LeBron?
Listen,
I know sometimes he's probably like, man, I don't want to hear this no more, man.
Joe, he's the king.
Oh, he's the king.
Come on, he's the king. if Michael Jordan is Black Jesus,
yeah, that's a fact. Yeah.
And he's King James.
Yeah,
it's room on Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
For both of their faces are on Mount Rushmore. Yeah, and it's so when you think about it, you're like, man, I was listening to LeBron talk on a podcast like a couple of days ago, and he was talking about the impact that Michael had on him. See, it always goes back to like all of these guys that have been great. Michael Jordan has had an impact in their life.
Michael Jordan, he honestly had an impact on all of our lives. You think about it.
Everybody.
Let's just be real. Like let's just be real.
So
if he would have signed with Adidas, it'd have been ugly. He's gonna sign with Adidas. Just think about it. Can you imagine that? Like no Jordans.
But I'm gonna throw something at you. I bet you haven't even thought about it. Michael Jordan was Michael Jordan without social media.
Yep. True. That's a true. That's a true.
Whoa.
No social media back then.
Run that back.
Nah,
Michael Jordan was Michael Jordan without social media. So if you were to flash that little logo in China, they would say Michael Jordan.
Yep.
If you was to flash it in Europe, Michael Jordan. Anywhere in the world that logo pops up, Michael Jordan. Name another player that has that impact for almost 4 decades.
That's true. It's probably gonna be like that forever.
There would never be another.
It would never be another. It would never be nobody had that impact like globally, just as a whole.
Without social media.
Without social media. Without no Instagram
when you bring in social media in an era, that's Braun era.
Yeah, it's his type of thing.
This is his era.
This is era. Like it is what it is. He's younger, so this is what he does.
Kobe was right in the mix of that, and Kobe separated himself because of his work ethic and because of the Mamba mentality.
He's so nice, though. He was so nice, man.
But think about it. He scored
81 against Mike and him, right? And like
he had 81, bro.
Listen, he had 81 that game. And listen, Mike had 36 that game. Like Mike
and Mike talked about it.
Yo, listen, he had 81. It was like everybody was trying to guard him. Mo P, Jalen Rose. I called Mike like, man, listen, man. I don't think none of y'all like Mike was like, I ain't guarding him. Like, you know what I'm saying? He went off.
If you go back and watch the game, he was cooking, bro. It's one of the most prolific games that you could see. But as great of a scorer that he was, he still evolved into a team basketball player. See, people with the MJ doc got a chance to watch the evolution of Michael. See, you can't compartment, you can't put Michael in a box.
Okay.
Michael came into the league on a bad team. So like some of these younger guys are going into the league, they're like, man, I'm on a bad team. I'm on a bad team. No, Michael was like, look, I'm on this team now, and we're no longer going to be a bad team.
That's a fact. Yeah, he was different.
Right.
Yeah.
He was different. You know,
Different.
and okay, Joe, let me throw something at you. How would you handle this situation? Michael was playing on a minute restriction, right?
Mm-hmm.
He had 14 minutes to play in the game. He played 7 minutes and a half. He played 7 minutes in the second half. Most people that I know would complain about the minute restriction in a negative way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, why should I even play hard? I'm only going to play 14 minutes.
Yeah, playing limited time.
You know what Michael said? Michael said, I'm going to be the best player in 14 minutes. So Michael go out and score 20 points in 14 minutes. Then he went to the coach and said, Coach, listen, we're getting close to making the playoffs. Figure out when the best time for me to use these 14 minutes for me to win the game for you. Think about his thinking.
That confidence is crazy. His confidence is like, is amazing.
Bro, most people wouldn't look at it like that, man. You can give people the same cup, and they would have took that and looked at it like, man, I just might as well not even play. Or when I'm in a game, they jogging up the floor, you know, they're just trying to be in the flow. Okay, my 14 minutes up, I'm going to sit down.
Yeah.
Michael said, I'm going to be the best player in 14 minutes. And, Coach, you need to figure out when is the best time to use me, because when you put me in there, I'm dominating.
His mentality was just uncharted. Like, seriously.
Unmatched, bro.
Seriously, I don't think nobody will ever have a mentality like that. I think Kobe was like right there.
He was right there.
After that, I don't know. Probably AI. I don't know. AI's tough.
I don't know if AI had that. You want me to tell you why?
He's like 5'6". Like, come on, Chris. Come on, Coach. Like, AI was like, I don't know. He's just so small. And for him to dominate the way he dominated for his size, you got to have something like that.
Right. See, but okay, let me tell you, this is what I see from AI. AI was one of them gifted guys.
Okay.
His stature.
Okay.
He had the gifts, but he didn't have the discipline.
I could see that.
So, because when you start looking at why wasn't he a champion? He got close.
I can see that. Yeah, I can see that.
And you look at some of the things that like he had to go through that could have been avoided by being disciplined. So the late nights, maybe the drinking, maybe some smoking, maybe a little bit of this. You know, I wasn't there with him, so I don't know. But when me being a trainer, I look at that and say, you know what? AI is one of the toughest players to play our game at his position, at his size. Wow, he had all of that talent. So now you gotta, the way you become that guy is you have to have the discipline and work ethic.
Do you feel like if AI was disciplined, he would at least won like a chip?
For sure. I think some of those things running away. Because, Joe, you grew up when I grew up. So he had the Dennis Rodman type of
I totally can dig it. Nah, I can dig it. Yeah.
But Dennis Rodman didn't have to carry the franchise.
Yeah, they got different roles.
Different roles,
yeah. Dennis Rodman get rebounds, defensive.
He don't have to lock in.
Yeah.
His lock in is different.
Yeah.
So like for Dennis to say, look, I gotta go to Vegas for 48 hours, I can't do that.
No.
Mike Jordan ain't going to Vegas.
No.
If Mike did that, the whole thing fall apart.
That's a fact. That's definitely a fact. That's definitely a fact.
So when I look at that, and you look at star players that want to take on that persona that Dennis had, it does not work. You got to get out in front and max out your stuff so that everybody else can max out their stuff. And I think that was the difference between AI. Like even when we start looking at shooting guards, right? They say rank your top 5 shooting guards. My top 5 shooting guards is Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, one of my really, really good friends, Dwayne Wade. D Wade and I are tight, but he's my 3rd best shooting guard.
I believe that. He deserves it.
Right. I got him over AI. I got Clyde Drexler over AI.
Ooh. You got Clyde Drexler over AI?
NBA champion.
NBA champion. He was disciplined.
90. Okay, so I had Clyde on my podcast like 3 weeks ago. 1989, Clyde was number 2 guard in the NBA behind Michael. It's not a slap on that. He took his team to 2 NBA finals.
I remember.
Without playing with any Hall of Famers. No Hall of Famers.
No, you're right. Terry Porter was in the Hall of Fame. Duckworth.
Nobody. Nobody.
Jerome Kersey. He had a bunch of role players.
That's
role players.
He did it twice, and he was dominating during an era that Michael was becoming Michael. He just was overshadowed because at the end of the day, it's Michael. It's the Michael Jordan effect. So when he left and went to Houston, he played with a Hall of Famer, and you can see the Clyde the Glide. But Clyde the Glide was on the Dream Team. Clyde is my top 4. Then it's AI. Okay. So my top 5 is Michael, Kobe, Dwayne, Clyde, AI. And AI is the only one without a championship.
Do you consider T-Mac a 2 guard?
Nah. He like LeBron.
What about Vince Carter?
No, he's a small forward.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a good question. But T-Mac played the point when Mike was on the team. So Mike could play, they would play off of each other. So Mike would get all them open threes because T-Mac would be driving to the basket and kick it. And so Mike is going to eat because he can shoot the ball. And then Mike can come down and be playing point, and T-Mac could be in the post. So T-Mac is like a positionless player. That's what I would put LeBron. So LeBron could be put in any position or any category.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, so that
I could definitely dig it.
Yeah, that's shoot. So no disrespect to AI. And you know the funny part is, and before we end or whatever, the most blessed thing I've ever had, Joe, is the only player that I've never met in my life is it may be because I've been to dinner with Michael Jordan, been to camp with Michael. Think about this. I know Kobe. Dwayne is one of my really good friends. I met AI. I met Dr. J. I'm just throwing out the older players because I know Iceman Gervin, John Lucas, Clyde Drexler. I train all the great players that are playing right now. It ain't a basketball player that is in this era that I don't know.
I know you're the top trainer in the world right now. I'm telling my followers, like, yo, Pops, he's the top trainer in the world right now, NBA-wise.
Yeah. So I know every player, but I
know everybody.
I try to look back, and I was like, okay, the greatest player ever. I know Mike. I met Mike. I know his family. I know his kids. I was like, Kobe, same thing. LeBron, KD. Like, start naming. Man, I've had a lot of fun, man. It's been a lot of blessing. And to tell you something, like starting my coaching career, I've been able to coach high school, AAU, Division I, G League, NBA. But in the mix of all of that, Mike James was my first NBA client. So I pay a lot of homage to Mike.
Oh, was he your first client?
Mike James was my first NBA client that ever paid me a check.
I didn't know that. I mean, I knew you was like coming back in the day. We all hung out. I didn't know he was your very, very first client though.
Because I was coaching. I had already been coaching.
Okay.
But when I say a client, like now I own my own enterprise. Okay. So I own my own companies, everything. So when I look back and I say, who was my first NBA client that paid me a check to train him and to develop him? Mike James.
That's crazy.
As soon as Mike, when I had Mike, obviously I had a bunch of other guys that was lining up.
Mm-hmm.
But Mike was the first guy to commit to me that summer. I worked with Coach Lucas. Those players that paid Coach Lucas, I considered them their clients. So okay. Mike wasn't the first NBA guy that I worked with.
Okay.
He was the first NBA client that paid me for what I do.
Okay.
So it's a lot of respect for Mike. And it's a lot of respect for him believing in the abilities that I have as a coach. I've always been in the world of basketball, but I always like people to know, somebody got to give you a chance.
That's a fact.
And the only difference between you and other people is someone gave them a chance.
That's a fact.
So if I could do anything for anybody, Joe, that's listening to your podcast, reach out to me because, guys, I will give you a chance. Somebody gave me a chance, I will give you a chance. But you have to be unmatched with your work ethic. You have to be unmatched with being devoted to what you're trying to do. If you're just trying to get on for the ride, you won't be here but a second because the ride is over.
Yeah,
but that's something, to be one of the best in the world, you have to give back. And I look at myself now, I call myself master trainer.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I'm a master trainer, whenever you think of karate, kung fu, anything that's martial arts, when you are the master, your job as a master is to develop the future masters. So I'm giving the knowledge that I've learned. Imagine being in the gym with all the people, all of the great coaches.
Yeah, you're right.
My basketball brain is crazy.
Yeah, your IQ's like right here, right now.
So my job is to give somebody a chance. So you guys that are listening to Joe's show, I really appreciate Joe for having me on.
Appreciate you having you on, my dude.
Yeah, Joe's my brother. He's been solid from day one.
Appreciate that.
I'm a day one dude. And so I just want you guys to know that, be a dreamer. And I have a master's degree. I have a bachelor's degree. I've been able to be in basketball my entire professional career for 17 years. So it don't feel like I'm working, but I own my own company, Chris Johnson LLC Associates. I own 5 companies to be exact. So I've expanded as a businessman in the technical world, in the technology world, from having my own YouTube channels to everything. So Joe, if anybody that's watching, they need it, listen, they can text me and my number. You can get my information from Joe.
Appreciate it.
And we can get it done from there.
Appreciate having you on, my dude. It's love. I'm going to see you another time. You know how I go.
Man, I appreciate you, Joe. Keep doing it and make sure you send it to me, bro, so I can share it with the world.
I got you. All right.
Okay. Thank you, Joe.
All right. All right. Oh, that was dope.